Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Den at the Glen. I am here with Connor Meyer here in the booth.
Hey, how's it going?
We have CBS Sports doing their official last race of the season, broadcasting for the FARCA Racing Series. So we hope they're having a good one. We're at Watkins Glen International Raceway with, again, we'll say this, one of our largest fields we've had to date. 37 cars are starting today's race. We're going to begin by going through the field. You want to kick us off with that?
So on pole, I believe this is first pole of the year. That's Thor Gunderson in the number 1. And alongside him is the number 99 of Todd Castile.
And behind our leaders, we have Taylor Marie in the Seagate Toyota, starting alongside Spencer Davis in the Penske Truck Rentals 30.
And then right behind them, we have the 78 of Trenton McPherson and the number 29 of Connor Meir.
And behind them, we have Tin Salmon in the Pennzoil High Mileage Dodge Challenger, starting alongside. That is Aaron Gabron in the DeWalt 12, sporting a throwback Kenseth paint scheme.
And then right behind them is the number 19 of Jay Langelier and the number 21 of Aaron Douglas.
Running right behind them, we have Justin Osborne in that Haas CNC 79 and Russ Blackwell in the Lucas Oil Safeguard Ethanol Chevrolet.
And then a pair of teammates right behind him, the number 51 of Brett Pritchard and the number 15 of David Walsh.
Behind the teammates, we have the Dodge duo, that's Big Man, starting alongside Anissa Johnson in her Mountain Dew 27.
And behind them, the number 36 of Joey Sanders and the 83 of Evan Coward.
And Titus Strobelaber starting in his big red Dodge next to the 37 in that pedigree Toyota, Scott Vickers.
And then the number 35 of Timmy Weathers and the number 62 of Joseph Onesto.
And Costa in a brand new Burger King Ford. That's going to be the first sponsored change of the season for him, starting alongside Yoakum's Big Blue Toyota.
And then the number 22 of Brad Smith and the 93 with a new sponsor, that's Kevin Campbell.
Behind them is Mr. Bumbura and his Moneyline 72, starting alongside the 00 Valvoline Chevy for Southern Pride Racing.
Then the number 5 of J.R. Lemon starts on the side of the number 9 of Benjamin Thomas. That's another new sponsor for them.
Nice new Jiffy Lube car for him. Alongside of him, we have Ryan DeLusso in the Bass Pro Shops number 60 Tracker, and that is alongside Scott Porter in the Coca-Cola Chevrolet.
Kyle Keith in the number 42 and the 87 of Anissa Johnson.
And Louis McClure starting in that car. In the back, a little bit of an interesting story. We have the number 2 of Big Rick Johnson in a purchased Manco Motorsports car in his own team of Marathon Motorsports, starting alongside Elusive Man in the 28 Dodge.
And rounding out the field is the number 95 of Quinn Izzo for Procrastination.
So right there, that is 37 cars. That is going to be interesting. So, new driver, Elusive Man, Manco Motorsports. Now, it's been told that that car was possibly one of the worst cars in the field. Was thought to be the driver just of Big Rick Johnson, as everybody was thinking it was before. So he, in dispute, purchases their old car, and they start side by side.
Yeah, Big Rick still wants to, this is kind of like a redemption race for him. He wants to take one of the old cars that he was racing and show that he can finish, at least not last. I think he has 3 or 4 straight finishes not on the lead lap.
And immediately that looks like we have an issue with the 62. That car not starting and pulled off to the side.
That's really weird for them. You know, they don't
And the
tend to have
93.
too many. 93 just has a lot of bad luck, but that's the first time I think any of the team cars have had real bad issues like that.
We'll have to hear more as the race continues on. For now, though, field is set to take the green. That will be Gunderson and Castile leading them to the green flag. We are set to go down to Glen.
Thor Gunderson was leading late last week at Evergreen, got passed. It's about 3 laps to go by Scott Porter. So he's looking for a little redemption.
Definitely needs it. It's definitely earned by that race team. However, immediately out of the gate, lady who won here in preseason, she's fighting for that position already.
A lot of bad luck to that car this year, so, you know, trying to turn things around with a really good run.
That would really be something for her. I don't think she's actually ever won in the FARCA Racing Series before on an official race, so this could be interesting for her. And right behind her, Trent McPherson and his 78. Been quite a while since we've seen that car at the front.
And then another surprise this week is the 91 of Tim Salmon. That's one of the Lubricar cars, the third car, the part-time.
You know, with
made his appearance at Eldora, didn't get out of his heat. So this is kind of, you know, his first chance to really shine in that car.
A really good opportunity for this team to have such a close band of these full field races. Lubricar had a little bit of good luck there with the past few races, some good finishes, a little bit of a sponsor boost. And you see they have 2 other cars racing in the top 5 right now. That's probably the first time that's actually ever happened. They have him and Langelier behind him in the Quaker State Dodge as well.
He's getting a lot of pressure right now with a 29.
Immediately sweeps to the inside. Those Meyer Racing Toyotas are not really to be played with today. And Brett Pritchard, another teammate of theirs, is shortly behind them. Walsh also isn't too far behind. 3 of their cars in the top 10.
See, and last week they had no cars in the top 10. I think the highest finisher was the 29, who finished 11th, I believe.
I remember after the race, they said they were really disappointed about that. They were hoping to make a comeback with the next race. That was going to be their big goal of it being a road course, and they certainly are making that happen today.
Another car that's always up front is Spencer Davis, trying to turn his bad luck around from the last few weeks.
Surprisingly, as a driver as good as he is, it's one of those things that happens when you don't get a win. You get a lot of pressure from one bad finish that causes a chain of bad finishes.
Yeah, he had 5 top 10s in a row, and then the last 2 weeks he hasn't even been in the top 20, I don't think.
The bad thing about that is you leave this track and go into the next race and you're like, okay, well, that was just a road course. How am I going to perform at the next race? So that pressure is still going to continue even after this.
Especially at a fast road course like this, too. So they start to get kind of single file up front.
Further updates from FARCA Racing officials, the 62 and the 93 both failed post-qualifying inspections that were set as a stop-and-go pit stop at the beginning of the race. That was the cause of them being pulled off.
It's the second time this year that's happened to the 93.
Yes, once at Daytona and now here at Watkins Glen. Probably was just trying to turn some luck around and backfired on him. You see the 30 pull to the inside of Langelier, trying to make a pass while Gabron sneaks around them. Towards the front, Henderson His Monster Energy Dodge, currently right behind the Royal Purple Dodge. Pritchard has moved his position up more. Almost have 3 cars in the top 5 from one team, so Meyer's team definitely having a good day. Caitlin still seems to be about a good half a second ahead of second, while 3 Dodges battle behind him.
Yeah, I mean, she definitely has the advantage here. I think she was at the preseason testing, and I don't think any of the cars right behind her were there.
No, they were not. She won both test races here at Watkins Glen, and in also the new car that we are testing here, she led. And it looks like Gunnarson's just going to let Salmon pass on by. We have Pennzoil versus Royal Purple for second right now. Meanwhile, teammates of Meyer and Pritchard who are going side by side there. 79 and 19 shortly following behind them. It's all Dodge and Toyota up front today.
And not too far behind that Royal Purple and Pennzoil car, there's the Quaker State car of Jay.
A few cars behind that's Valvoline. Maybe another good day for the oil cars. Trending on Twitter during the Eldora race. They were dubbed the nickname of the Oily Boys. So, they had a little bit of group of these sponsors' cars that have been kept together under a fandom.
Oh, they all made it into the main race.
Wow, almost close contact there as the 78 almost took the nose off the 29.
That's not what either of those cars need right now.
No. Probably just tires getting worn down after battling with the 91. Pritchard nose to tail with the 79. 79 is going to take the bad end of that and fall back a little bit after a good run on the 29. That's just one of those things that happens.
Now that one car of Thor Gunderson has been pretty consistent the last few weeks. You know,
Really
at first it was Big Man who had, I think, 3 straight top 2 finishes. Finished second every time, and then now the one car is kind of taking that over.
Yeah, he fell back a little bit at the start of this race, but he's definitely recouped. And as we talked about too also in the previous race, he's got a really good long run car. They're great at making setups for long green flag runs like we get right here. So that makes it come into play for this instance, especially with the great qualifying like they have had the past few races. It's definitely been going their way. Man, Tim Salmon, for only his second race, he has been working his way up too.
And this is his first race on, you know, an asphalt track. You know, his first race was a dirt track at Eldora.
Man, that car also just came alive. Look how close he closed between Gunderson and Caitlin in just 2 turns. And what's crazy too is if one of these drivers wins, they get locked into full time. He would have to replace one of his teammates that is underperforming.
Which at this point, the other 2 cars have been both kind of behind.
Don't keep them out though, because look at
Ben.
Pritchard just went underneath Gunderson.
Pritchard's the only car in the top... Well, it looks like in the top 10 that has a win, so... Oh, well, 2 cars in the top 10 have a win. With Gabron being the other car.
Don't count Meyer out either. He's been just hiding there. He's been in the top 5 the whole time.
have no repeat winners this season.
As our typical fashion with our series, we almost never have repeat winners, unless we get another Francie Davis.
Most wins of any driver in the league.
Back in our Valvoline Pro Series days, she was untouchable. She even clinched the championship with 3 races left in the season.
4 total wins, which is most all the time. I think the next person behind him is Todd. He has 3 wins.
That was the one we initially launched the FARCA Racing Series, and then that's when Todd was dominant at the super speedways. Pritchard making a move now on Gunnarsson for that 3rd spot. That Toyota again making another move on Dodge. It is all Dodge and Toyota right now. The top looks like 6.
And with Ford holding on to 9th and 10th currently.
Something we're going to check on too real quick. Let's check on the rivalry of a team that has had an initial argument. And that will, of course, be the 28 car of Elusive Man, who is riding the 33rd position, while the retired now 2 car is all the way up in the 21st position, which is the highest Bigger Johnson has been since the Daytona race.
And he's kind of proven that, hey, it's not him, it's the car.
I mean, currently he's 11 positions ahead in a retired backup car. So that ain't bad.
Yeah, that's a car that they didn't even have enough time to take the numbers off of it, so they just taped over the 8 and made it the 2.
Nope, looks like they just went to a local market, probably the one that's on the side of the car, and just bought some tape and put it right over the numbers. They didn't even have time to peel the decals off of the team. They just put tape right over the team logos.
Except for the one on the front bumper. It seems that they missed that one.
No, probably ran out of tape. But that's quite underfunded. He's putting all his money that he has made throughout the year just straight into this car. I mean, that's definitely going out on a limb just to prove somebody wrong as he makes a move on a big name of that looks like Deluso.
He's currently betting on himself. He put everything in to get in this car, getting it on track. And I think if he goes well enough, he might try to run at least part-time the rest of the year.
I mean, a pressure like this can change people. So it doesn't necessarily surprise me.
Especially, he gets a good enough finish, might be able to get a bigger sponsor on the car for the next big race.
Exactly. Oh, it almost had an accident right there. Blackwell kind of held up the 35 and the 2. Something that's nice about a road course that will scream is the ability to listen to these cars. We're going to go ahead and let it get loud. So let's go ahead and enjoy these cars for what they are. All right, we're back as green flag pit start. To the 51-29. Looks like just about everybody came in.
Yeah, looks like every car is going in.
Fuel, fuel, fuel. That's what's coming on over the radio. Everybody needed gas. Yeah, not a
Oh yeah.
single car. That is interesting. I don't think I've ever seen that happen. Oh, we have one car.
Well, that looked like the 62 who started, like a lap down.
Yes, that indeed was. He won up nice and quickly. 62 or 92, my bad. 91. Person made gains there. Gabron racing off pit road passes the 78. He is our biggest gain there today. He went straight to the top 5 with that pit stop. Looks like the 29 struggled and lost a few spots. Biggest, let's see, move on pit road was a double zero, taking only 2 tires and advancing his position by 7 cars.
That's Andrew Weisbecker. That's also his second race of the season. His first one was also at Eldora.
That is for Southern Pride Racing. That's Castile's teammate, running a backup car of Castile's every now and then. And during that whole exchange, Brett Pritchard took the lead from Caitlin. He is also a repeat winner. Leading now at the halfway point. This will be a bonus point for him.
It's another driver who had a rough couple of weeks.
Gotta be upsetting for Caitlin. I mean, she was probably really hoping for a win here tonight. And they gotta get that car rolling again. Whatever adjustments they made to Brett's car, that car is just flying. Behind those 2 Toyotas, we have 3 Dodges proceeding. That is Tim Salmon, Thor Gunnarsson, and Quentin McPherson. This car kind of came back a little bit too. Titus Strogelabber from Manco is also racing in the top 10 in the 9th position. That's fallen back rather quickly, probably having some issues, is Mr. Langelier in his Quaker State 19.
Being chased down currently by a couple of Mountain Dew cars.
The Mountain Dew Duo. The Mountain Duo.
21 and the 27.
Nice.
And then another drink behind them in a Big Blue. Put all the beverages together.
Watch out. And we are under a yellow flag situation. Caution flag is out. Let's see if we can find out what exactly happened as the field comes to the line. Not exactly seeing who brought out that one. Might have been the 93, but over here on the radio there was some debris in the bus stop.
Or might have been some of that tape peeling off the 2 car.
Mixture of the tape, and also don't forget about that contact we had earlier of the back here on the backstretch too. No, that's too far up front though from when they slowed up in front of the 2 car. Actually, that could have been it then, from when he got backed up, knocked some of it off.
It'd be interesting to see if anybody comes down pit road.
Something that you should note, that 28 car is still in the 27th position, while they have gained number 2 car of Big Rick Johnson in that backup car purchased with a used engine is one position away from being in the top 10. That is pure
They, they
skill.
must they must have done two tires on that pit stop though.
They did not, because they came out 16th. So he worked up an additional 5. Now what somebody should have done is short pitted, because obviously it would have came into their fashion, or stayed out. But
I wonder if Big Man is starting to regret his decision of swapping drivers there.
I mean, from an owner's perspective, I've done it before, and it sucks. Sometimes people just don't click with a certain team. And with him finishing last every race, I remember he was only a factor in Eldora because he was going to change the outcome of who was going to win the race, because he would have held him up.
Yeah, because he was so slow. Yeah.
It's going to be good for our leaders. Caitlin now will have a shot to move back around.
The 93, after having that issues in the beginning, is in the lead lap again.
It's good for him, that way he can now focus on moving up, which he already has moved around at least one car, that is a 79.
I think the 79 might have been the issue for the caution, because wasn't he running pretty high up?
You know, the 62 went a lap down. Oh, hang on, we have the 15 on pit road. Actually, he was pacing on a caution lap, so maybe something possibly happened to the 15 car. We'll have to keep an eye on David Walsh now. Because though I don't see any damage to any car, so I think that was just debris. Still a little old school at FARCA. We don't necessarily have nice fancy radios, because these cars all do look clean. I'm gonna be safe to bet that was debris.
Just some tape.
Ah, do you see that? That is a 55 of Russ Blackwell with a blown engine now leaving the track.
Oh, that's unfortunate for that team because they were running really well today.
They really were. Up until then, he was riding in the top 15. That's a brand new paint scheme for that car. 2 cars on pit road. The 15 now will be scored as a lap down, and it looks like that was a faulty ignition system causing multiple cylinder misfire to the 55.
We're gonna have about 6 laps to go here.
Any one of those drivers in the top 6 can go for this one. We've seen short runs prove strong here at this track, especially from the last restart. Cars can move pretty quickly on a fresh set of tires, or at least cold tires. So that will be interesting. I'm betting Salmon may pull something out of him. Or even the 00.
I think it might be the 92. Just because of how quick she was at the start of the race. You know, she started 3rd, got the lead, I think, on the first lap.
She did pull away by a good 3 seconds on the last restart as well. So she probably has this car set up for a short run and anticipated a late race caution. But that 51 is fast. And in fact, I believe he won with that car earlier in the season.
Yep, that's correct. That car, that paint scheme specifically has seen victory lane already this year.
Would also be our first repeat winner. Cam Pritchard pulled the repeat.
Previous champion too. He won the previous season that we did. He was the champion.
So we have somebody who has got the veteran status under his belt. We've got the lady who won in preseason. We've got the young gun behind her, someone in fourth, determined for a win, and some part-timers who would love to go full-time. We are about to hit the green flag. We still have 36 cars on the field. 15. Still not sure what's going on with his issue, but he is back on track. Immediately to the inside goes the 92. Whole field went too wide fairly quickly there. Everybody trying to get position. Like we predicted, that car just took off.
So they were hoping for a short run at the end of this race, and maybe they're just hoping it's short enough.
But be careful, right behind her. That's Thor Gunderson. That car is also fast on the short runs. Adjustments made to the 29. He is making his way back into the top 5 rather quickly. He has got 3 cars now of his team in the top 5.
It looks like all 3 of those cars were set up for the short run.
We said, you know what, just copy that setup and put it to the other cars. Pritchard now making the move on Gunderson. This is about time with some heat. That car will come back. Gunderson trying to hold him off though the best he can. Trenton going to try and take advantage of that and move himself to the 3rd spot. We have 5 laps to go.
The 92 is just hoping that they race like this the rest of the laps.
You know, a car that looks fast and is just getting held up is that 29 car. Look at him. Meyer's car has finally come up. Salmon's car has fallen off though. He's holding other drivers behind him.
And the 91 and the 00. I mean, I guess that's just their newness showing. They didn't really, neither one of them got a real good start.
No, they did not. Another car that snuck up though was that part of that Mountain Duo. 21 of Aaron has broken himself finally into the top 10. Needs a good points day after the previous race.
It's the highest he's been all day.
Trenton now looking to get around Gunderson. I believe this will be his highest finishing race.
Now Dodge is still looking for their first win this season also.
Toyota, obviously not. But another driver looking for redemption after arguably a very tough season. We are under a yellow flag situation again. Might have been the 95.
Now, the interesting part is, are they going to go back to green, or are they going to finish this under yellow?
I think we will get one more green flag attempt. Yeah, I believe this was going to be caused by the 95 car. Yep, there it was. Looks like came down on top of the 35 car. Going through the S's, it just didn't have enough room. You see in the top right corner of the screen. Good job from Benjamin and his Jiffy Lube Dodge and JR Lemon for avoiding that.
Yeah, that definitely could have been a lot worse than what it actually was.
Down both of those cars for not causing more. However, this is where things get heated. We saw how quickly the one car dove to the 92 dove to the inside to make the move and pass. She now is going to be stuck on the outside, but her car is really fast on that first lap, but their tires are used. What do you want to do in this situation? Nobody's pitting. Everybody's staying out. There's 4 laps left. 3 laps left now.
I mean, you just gotta throw the block and hope.
Throw the block and make it stick. There's 2 Dodges, and then she's got team support of 2 cars right behind her.
Or she has to hope that the 78 can get below the 1.
If the 78 does that, we're in a whole different ballpark, because then they have to fight each other. Trenton's got a fast car, though. He just keeps getting blocked. So then she would have to worry about him. So that's another issue.
The car sneaking up into the top 10. There's the number 8 of Big Man. Is that a pretty quiet day today?
From that team, yes. Because normally they're kind of crazy.
And actually, it's been a bad day for Ford.
Actually, yeah, where is the highest Ford right now?
Looks like the 12.
Man, that is a bad day. They are not even inside. They barely have a car in the top 15. Barely have a car in the top 15. And then you have a bunch of them kind of stacked at the bottom of the top 20. Of Best in the World Racing. But they're all just chilling in the back. All of them. Look at that. 4 in a row at the back of the pack, and then 95 that just got spun out. Interesting too is we're the 24 on pit road right now. That is a chase driver.
That's last week's winner.
You see those lights on that Dodge Challenger flashing away. We're going to look for those to be turned off. Actually already heading straight to pit road. That means we are going to be going green. 3-lap shootout. Can Caitlin hold on from Gunderson and Trenton and the Dodges behind her? Heading straight into the corner. This is normally where you see them move around. She's able to hold them off. Nobody spread as hard as they did before. They are shuffling in the back of the pack, though. 3 wide there in the middle. Whoa, and contact. Brandon almost spun the 1 car. You saw him get loose entering that S.
That's going to help the 92 out.
Definitely. You hear frustrations coming from the team. He knows he's got a faster car and wants Dodge to win. Gunderson battling. It's the end of the race, but that's frustrating for manufacturing. There he goes. He's around him. This is where the 92 needs to panic now, because that 78 is fast. And he's also fighting to be a full-timer right now. And we have a big wreck in the backstretch. Ow.
51 looks like he got turned.
Wow. Lots of cars involved. Chasers involved. 92 across the line. This is going to be for the win to end it under yellow. More than likely. That is the 92 of Caitlin. Let's check up on that wreck, though. That was a big one. Look at how destroyed these race cars are. We're coming out of the corner. Looks like the 60 got just underneath the Toyota of Brett Pritchard, spun him around. He went sideways into the guardrail, no safer barrier, and then got hit by the 42 and the 88. Very similar to Jeff Gordon's accident there in the Sprint Cup race. I hope he's okay.
Yeah, that's a bad wreck.
That car, both and let's ride on board with the 88. See right there, you see the smoke coming out from the bang car. As he hits the wall, he can't see anything and nowhere to go. You see parts flying off the 42 car. And then they still hit each other even so after the wreck too.
Yeah, Gabron barely squeezed through that.
See if we have a
because he was in between the 42 and the 88.
Ride on the inside with Gabron. On board with the number 12. He can't see anything at all. That's just pure luck. And he was mid-shift there too. He was just letting it redline so he could focus on getting through. Man. And there we go. That is also the last lap right now being paraded around. So it is official, winning under yellow. Her first win officially after all those preseason races. Caitlin finally gets to go to victory lane. So I'm sure she's concerned about her teammate though, after a hard wreck like that.
It's a good run by the 78 and the 91 team.
Actually, yeah, I mean, for sure. And then this was one of those races they were talking about with swapping the 27 to 78 around. So that right there is plenty of proof of to just go ahead and pull the trigger on that after him finishing second, almost winning a race. Probably, I would love to see how that battle would have gone down in those closing laps with those two drivers.
It definitely would have been close.
Gunnarsson, another great attempt from him, had the pole, finished third. Not bad at all from that Manco car.
A win for Dodge is coming.
And they've got to. They just had 3 cars finish in the top 5 with multiple Dodges behind them. Actually, even the 27 that came back and finished, I think that's her highest finish. Look at the
that's
look at
either
the
her
streaks.
highest finish or that ties her highest finish.
Look at the streaks from the 51 car.
Yeah, right into that wall.
Hang on! Oh no. No, no. She doesn't make it. Wow. She's being told to go down pit road by FARCA officials with that blown motor. Under pit road speed, you see the 78 purposefully hanging back on this one. I cannot believe what I'm seeing. Good sport from the 78 to not pass her for this.
Yeah, because that's not how you want to win your first one.
Yeah, that's not very. That's a true sportsman right there for Trenton to not pass her and let her get that win. Good on him. It looks like, yeah, that motor let go. Completely, it locked up as soon as she pulled into her pits.
That's luck.
That is pure luck. But she can't use that motor again now. But she won with a blown motor after all of those races. That is a success story if we ever had one. Drove that car quite literally into the ground to get the first win. Locked into the chase now. Sure, that's 2 cars now in the chase for Meyer Racing Toyota. From a T-Motor stance, did you just have a mini heart attack?
Oh, that's stressful. You never want to see something like that. I guess thanks to the Trenton in the 78 for being a good sport about it, knowing that's not how you want to win your first one.
No, definitely isn't. Not even it wouldn't matter for the spot in the team for a quote unquote a dirty move like that. But also news from the Infield Care Center being checked and released. All 3 drivers, more specifically to say, Brett Pritchard is okay after that hard impact on that unsafer barrier wall. They got to do something about that position of the racetrack. That's now 2 cars that have had a similar crash like that.
Yeah, there always seems to be something about that corner right there that why they don't have safer barrier there is just mind-blowing.
Yeah, they need to. You could see the lines. He had to have been still full speed re-entering the racetrack and getting hit. So, to end that, another win to Toyota. Big congratulations to Caitlin and her race team. Dodge, you definitely have it coming. Ford needs to change something big. Where are we headed to next week?
I'm gonna have to actually look. It will be Arwindale.
Our first Enduro race.
It's 150 laps.
That one's going to be interesting. That will be a field game on a track that is very rough on tires.
At night.
At night. One hot night in Southern Cali. Well, maybe Dodge can get it done there. Almost had it today in a multiple situation. What in the... Okay. Multiple situations, they almost had that done. A major congratulations again once more to the 92 team. You guys definitely deserve it after everything that team has been through. CBS, thank you guys for helping us put on such a great beginning of the season. Glad to have you guys, and a nice dramatic finish that we had here tonight. We'll be welcoming NBC next week in California. We will see you guys at the next race.